This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's keep it going here. Let's talk a little bit about working in Mid-South in this era. You and I have talked about it a little bit, but we haven't spent a ton of time discussing what the inner workings of the territory were like as far as the day-to-day life. But I've recently been fortunate enough to talk about that with Arn. We're going back through Arn's entire career, sort of week by week, even day by day, breaking down all of his opponents when he's in the territory system and just what living on the road was like back then. And he describes working in the Mid South Territory in a word as brutal. Just the travel between towns. It's not a tiny territory. You're covering a lot of states, a lot of real estate, a lot of miles, a lot of wear and tear on your car, a lot of 2-lane roads. And he described it as being so challenging that having one spare tire wasn't enough. You needed two, just in case.
That's funny.
Tell me about, what you remember hearing and experiencing when you're having to sort of run these roads as well.
Well, Arn's right. I mean, it was brutal, but I bet you in the same conversation, he told you how much he learned there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And the foundation that was set forth that he built his reputation and his legacy upon. Arn got a lot of, I remember when Arn came in, Marty Lundy, it's under the old quote unquote underneath heel.
Yes.
So that means prelim, kids, prelim villain. But Cowboy liked Arn from the get-go. He saw Arn had a great work ethic, just old school, down and dirty, nothing pretty, bullshit. Just down. It was reliable, and that's my number one trait. I look for reliability, man. But the road trips were what they were. I'll say this: when I was a referee and I was on the road, the same highways, the same towns, doing the same trips, except I wasn't doing it for the same money. So for a referee, you got less shekels to go around, and you can try to get something home for your significant other to go to the mall on. That's another story. I could tell a bunch of those son of bitches. But yeah, it was challenging, Conrad. It was challenging, but what ideal territory was there?
Right.
They all had trips.
Yeah.
You didn't ride on an airplane. You went in a car. And some of them were brutal, no doubt about it. But I think the trade back is, and I'm loyal to Mid-South, as you can tell, because that's where I got my start. But, working for Cowboy wasn't a day at the beach like I have now here in Jacksonville. It wasn't a day at the beach. So I paid my dues as well. But Arn's exactly right. I don't disagree with anything he said there. It was brutal. But with that brutality became the secret to a lot of the finer points, the fine art of what we do. And I can promise you that my announcing would never have achieved the level that I hope it does eventually if it hadn't been for Cowboy teaching me the psychology of the wrestling business.
Talk to me a little bit about what the guarantees were. There weren't any, in a word, as far as I know, but it feels like these days, of course, the hot buzzword is, oh, what's my downside guarantee and guaranteed contracts. But back then, what you're guaranteed is, hey, we're going to book you on a bunch of shows and go get over. But as far as the actual creative and certainly the financial piece, that's based on, what we see and what happens and how we're drawing, et cetera, et cetera. Or when a guy like Magnum has a little bit of footage under his belt, does he come in with a bit of a more firm guarantee?
Magnum may have had, like some of the guys were beginning to have at that era, a weekly guarantee. But if you didn't have that kind of deal, you're an underneath person, like Arn probably. You're working for what they pay you. And generally, now there are going to be exceptions. You can ask him about this on his podcast. I recall certain parts of that Mid-South journey that I was on where the underneath talents got a minimum of $40 a day, and the guys the next level up got 60.
Wow.
And if you shared a car, the baby faces and heels could not ride together. If you shared a car, the guys in the car with you in your vehicle paid you 2 cents a mile for transportation expense. And if you didn't want anybody to ride with you, then go by yourself. You ain't forced to ride with other people. but you can make 6 cents a mile if there's 3 other guys in there. And then you just do all the math, and that buys gas and stuff like that. So, but it wasn't good money. You went there to learn and hopefully make a break, create a skill set that is marketable based on Cowboy's philosophies and his teachings. And a lot of guys did that. I mean, there's story after story of guys that came through Mid-South, including Arn. So, like I said, but he's right, man. It was brutal. And that was always the biggest complaint that I heard was travel. Travels, some of those trips are just unconscionable, really. I mean, I remember getting booked and doing a referee gig in Mississippi, like maybe Greenville or Greenwood somewhere, then driving to Oklahoma to do Oklahoma City on Friday night. It's an all-night drive to go make my $40.
Yeah.
So when others say, if so-and-so really paid their dues, just peel back that onion a little bit. You'll see all the dues paid you want to see with a paid in full right beside all of them.
Talk to me a little bit about Bill's opinion of Magnum when he sees him. Did Bill think Magnum was TV ready? You sort of said a minute ago that you felt like he needed a little bit of work with the in-between stuff, the finer points, the transitions and whatnot. Did Bill think, for the most part, hey, this kid's TV ready?
Well, his look was TV ready.
Yeah.
His look was TV ready. The consensus was he just simply needed a little bit more time to get his game under him. We're going out there doing a lot of tape television. We're not stopping and redoing things. We're not doing 2 takes. You swing or swim with what you're sink or swim with what you're doing. And so you got to be pretty proficient, at least know what not to do. And that was where Bill helped, I think, Magnum a lot, was just don't go here, don't do this, don't do that. Just take that out of your game for now. and then the time to try it is the live events, not on television. I stand by that rule to this very day. You don't try something new on TV.
Right.
It's illogical. But anyhow, yeah, Bill always thought Magnum had the look. I mean, that's the one thing that drew him there. We didn't know what kind of human being he was. We didn't know if he had the aptitude. You come to find out he's been a fan all his life. He's influenced by the genre. And so the genre then has a special place in his heart, and he stays motivated to excel within that chosen genre. And so Cowboy, we all got to learn that real quick, that we got a fan on our hands, and he's going to invest time. He's a student of the game, and Cowboy loved that aspect of anybody that would put a little time, extra time in to learning the arts of their craft.
Hey, Big Daddy, you got to get excited about saving people money. Woo! Woo!
SaveWithConrad.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.